Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to combine like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same variable. Okay, so let's write this in. Our same variable with the same exponent. Okay, so a little background. An expression, here you can see we have an algebraic expression. In this case, we have four terms. Okay, and each term is made up of. Okay, if we look at this, the 5, the first term, is actually called the coefficient. The x is the variable, and the 2 in this case is the exponent. So today we're going to talk about combining terms that are like. So if I took 5x squared and I added 4x squared, okay, you're going to notice that we have the same variable, x, in both, and the same exponent. So when we do that, all we do is combine, we add the two coefficients. So we're going to take 5 plus 4 and we would get 9, and then we would keep the x squared the same. So when we do that, we've got to be really careful, though, to look at the sign in front of the coefficient. So in this case, it's a positive 4. But if I had 5x squared minus 4x squared, in this case, we have a 5 and we have a negative 4. So 5 minus 4, or 5 plus negative 4, is actually 1x squared. But in algebra, we don't write the 1. The 1 is an invisible coefficient, so we just write x squared. Okay, looking at the example we have here, we have 2x squared minus 3x plus 4y squared minus x plus 10 plus 3x squared. So I like to start at the highest exponent. In this case, it's to the second power. And I'm going to box around 2x squared, and then I'm going to find one that's like it. I've got 3x squared. And notice when I boxed around it, I included the operator, the plus or the minus, okay? So now I've got 2x squared plus 3x squared. I just add the coefficients because it's going to involve adding and subtracting the coefficients. Okay, so 2 plus 3 is 5, and we don't want to forget about our x squared. The variable and the exponent stay the same. Okay, now if I looked at the next variable, I've got y squared. Now there's nothing I can combine with with 4y squared, so I'm just going to write plus 4y squared. Okay, because I had a plus before it. All right, and then now if I've got a 3x, negative 3x, and a minus x, I'm going to look at my two coefficients, negative 3, and this is actually a minus 1. Remember, the 1 we don't write, so negative 3 minus 1 is a negative 4x. And then our constant is usually the last term. In this case, we don't have anything to combine, so it's just going to be plus 10. All right, I'm going to do some simple examples first. It says simplify each and solve. We're going to cross off this and solve because we're not actually solving. That's when we have an equation. Here we're just simplifying. So in our first example, we can combine 5a and 3a because they have the same variables and the same exponent, the exponent being 1. 5a plus 3a is 8a. And then our constant we can't combine with anything, so it's just plus 6. Number 2, I'm going to take negative 11w squared and negative 7w squared. Negative 11 minus 7 is negative 18w squared. All right, I want my constant to be at the end, so the next one that I'm going to, next term will be plus 3x. There's nothing I can combine it with, and then minus 9. Okay, and then for the third one, I'm going to look first, and I've got a 2z squared. So 2z squared. I can't combine it with anything, but I do have a 7z and a negative 13z. So notice I circle around the negative. So 7 minus 13 is a negative 6, and I don't forget my z. And then my constant is a negative 21. Okay, so that would be my answer there. Okay, I'm going to do a few more examples. Okay, whoops, it kind of makes a little bit of a mess here. Okay, number 4, I'm going to start with my 4y squared, and I've got a negative 8y squared. So 4 minus 8 is negative 4y squared. And then I have a negative 3x and a positive 3x. Well, when I take a negative 3 and I add 3, I get 0. So 0x, 0 times anything is 0. So it actually just cancels it out. And then here, for the first time, we actually have a constant. 7 minus 1, and we can combine them. 7 minus 1 is 6. It's a positive 6, so my simplified version would be 4y squared plus 6. Okay, number 5, we've got the x's in parentheses. It really doesn't need to be, so I'm going to rewrite this as 17x minus x plus 12 minus y. 17x minus x would be 16x. And then I'm just going to switch this order because I want my constant to be at the end. So minus y plus 12. Okay, now at any point here you can stop the video and you can try a few and then you can go back and see if you got them right, or you can actually just try them on your own and then look at the answer key that's provided on the website. But 25y minus 25y, they would cancel out and you would be left with just 10x. Okay, number 7, we're going to combine 3x to the 4th minus 5x to the 4th, and we'll get negative 2x to the 4th. Then we've got a negative 12 minus 16 is a negative 28. Okay, here we've got 7x and a negative 8x. 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Again, we don't write the negative 1, we just write it as negative x. And here we have a 5y, so we're just going to say plus 5y. And then we're going to combine 4 and 3. 4 plus 3 is positive 7. Okay, number 9. Okay, number 9 we've got, let me erase this. Okay, number 9 we have negative x and a negative 8x. So it's like saying negative 1 minus 8, which is negative 9. So we have negative 9x, and then we have negative 7 plus minus 12, which would be minus 19. So negative 7 minus 12 is a negative 19, so we write this as negative 9x minus 19. Okay, here we have some fractions, but we're going to start with 10x minus 2x, and we're going to get 8x. And then when we add the fractions, we've got 3/4 and 5/4. We have the same denominator, so we have 8/4, and 8/4 is equivalent to 2. So we just get 8x plus 2. Now in algebra, we don't like to have our double sign here, so we actually rewrite this as 5 plus 4x plus 20. Okay, oops, I made a mistake here. Let me erase this. It's 4. I forgot about my x. Okay, so this one would be 5 plus 4x plus x, because subtracting a negative makes that positive, plus 20. So we're going to take a 4x and we're going to add an x. Remember, there's really a 1 there. 4 plus 1 is 5x. Now we're adding 5 and 20, and we get 25. And then number 12, we're going to take 10x to the 3rd, and we're going to subtract 8x to the 3rd. So we're going to get 2x to the 3rd, and then we only have the 8x squared left. So plus 8x squared. Okay, so that was combining like terms. We're going to move on to the distributive property, but I'm actually going to do that in the next video. So I'm going to pause right now, and you can watch the next video.